Hey everybody, it's Peter here from Van Campus Greenhouses. We're celebrating our 60th year and counting here at the greenhouse. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about perennial fruit-bearing trees and shrubs and perennial vegetables that you can grow in your garden. One of the things that we've seen a lot of traction on recently are cherry trees, peach trees, apples, plums, and pears. They're a beautiful fruit-bearing tree that you can grow at home. And yes, you can grow peaches in your yard, but you need to understand a little bit about pollination. When it comes to apple trees, you require two different apple trees, a Granny Smith and a Cortland, to pollinate each other. Some plum trees can produce fruit all on their own, some cherry trees can produce fruit all on their own, and some require a pollinator. So we're going to take a little look at this cherry tree here to start. This cherry tree is a Stella cherry. Now Stella is one of our top selling varieties because Stella is self-fruitful. That means it doesn't need another cherry tree nearby to pollinate the blossoms in spring to produce fruit. The other cherry trees that we have in stock right now, Lapin and Van, are varieties that require each other to make fruit. So without buying the two trees and having the pollen transfer between them, cross-pollination, you don't get any fruit on those trees. Big thing that people struggle with is in future years, sometimes they don't even bloom. If your fruit trees don't bloom, you're not going to get fruit on them either. One of the things to understand is soil pH, making sure you're not too acidic. PEI soil is fairly acidic, and raising the pH for these types of plants can really help uptake the nutrients it needs to produce flowers. So I touched base on some peaches. We got some beautiful peach varieties. All the varieties we have in stock right now are cold hardy to the zone and can produce fruit on their own. When it comes to apples and pears, they require a specific pollinator. One of the beautiful things, if you only have space for one apple tree in your yard, is this grafted 4-in-1 apple tree. This actually has 4 varieties of apple grafted into the one tree. So as this blooms, it pollinates itself and only require the one tree for fruit production on it. To get away from trees, if you've got a smaller space in your yard, you can grow high bush blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, grapevines, even rhubarb and asparagus as perennial crops for your vegetable garden. The nice thing about these high bush blueberries, they grow about 4 feet tall by 4 feet wide on most of the varieties, and they love the acidic soil that PEI has. So by liming the yard, you're gonna hurt these guys. So understanding the pH on these is also very important. Usually we add peat moss, which helps drop the acidity, make it more acidic, and helps these blueberries thrive. So with blueberries, it's like I mentioned before, you need 2 varieties to produce really great fruit. Here we have a variety called Polaris and a variety called Chippewa. These 2 varieties are great pollinators for each other. They bloom at the same time, and almost all high bush blueberries have a close bloom window. When we start talking about hascaps, you can run into another great fruit producer that has slight variance in bloom window. So these varieties from proven winners, the Yeasberry Sugar Pie and Yeasberry Honey Bunch, are great varieties that bloom at the same time. Great for the backyard garden, high fruit producers. And when it comes to hascaps, we've got some really exciting news coming for 2019 on hascap production, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching about fruit-bearing bushes. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up on social media or any of the spots where you see our fine videos.